this is your math lesson. So we've been talking about time. Let's review some vocabulary words. AM is the time from midnight all the way to noon. And you can think about in the morning. So AM. An analog clock is this. An analog clock has hands. It has a face and it has numbers, and the hands move around. A digital clock has just digits like that. I don't know if you can read it. It says 10:51. That's a digital clock. A digital clock uses numbers only, and this is what people use today. Very few people now have analog clocks in their house. Half hour is half of the full hour, so it would go straight down to the 6. It's half of the clock. That's a half hour or 30 minutes. The hour is the hour hand is the first one you say. It's the shorter hand. That is the hour. The hour hand is the shorter hand. The minute hand is the longer hand. Remember, it kisses the outside. Remember, there are 60 minutes in 1 hour. It goes around 60 times before it gets to the next hour. When you have a time like this, you say your shorthand first, and then you count by 5. So this would be 4, 5, 10, 15, 4:15. PM is the time from noon, and it goes all the way through lunch, through dinner, and all the way to midnight when you're in bed. That's PM. And I always say past morning is PM. The minute hand is the longer hand. It kisses the outside, and there are 60 minutes in 1 hour. Okay. So please get out your work from yesterday. It was the AM and PM. It's page 626. Pause this if you need to. Okay, so I want to review AM and PM, which can get very confusing. So AM is the time from midnight when you're sleeping all the way up till noon when you're eating lunch. That's AM. PM is past morning. It's from 12 noon all the way up till midnight. Because there are 24 hours in a day, the hour clock only has 12 hours. So it goes around 2 times. The first time for AM and the second time for PM. Okay, so I asked you to do this. So this is on page 627. So what is the time? Shorthand first is 7. When it goes straight up, it's o'clock. So you put 0, 0. And then if you're eating breakfast, that's in the morning. So that would be AM. AM. Next one, you wash the dog. So my hour hand is at 2. And then I'm going to count by 5s. 5, 10, 15. This is 2:15. Okay, you would wash the dog 2:15 PM, past morning. If you did it at AM, it would be dark out. That's when you're sleeping. Go swimming. Okay, so this is between 12 and the 1. I'm going to go back to the 12 and count by 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 12, 35. And you would do that after the morning. Past morning, so PM. Tell what time is shown for the activity. Draw the hands on the clock and show if it's AM or PM. So soccer practice. So we'll draw our hands. It's 3:30 it says. So I'm going to go halfway between the 3 and the 4, and 30 goes straight down to kiss it. And you would have soccer practice past morning, PM. Sleeping, 2:30. So between 2 and the 3, and you go straight down. And sleeping would be AM. 2:30 a.m. That's right past midnight. Eating dinner, 6:45. I'll go halfway between the 6 and the 7. And 45 goes here. And eating dinner would be in the PM. Complete each sentence, write midnight or noon. So remember, midnight is when you're sleeping. Noon is when you're having lunch around. So at midnight, we're going to draw a line for midnight. You're asleep. And your lunch is at noon. Midnight and noon, AM and PM. Okay, Zach has, turn your paper over. Zach has lacrosse lessons, lacrosse practice at 4 o'clock. Would that be 4 o'clock AM or PM? It would be past morning, so it would be 4 o'clock PM. It is 2:25. Lakota is going to the library in 1 hour. On the clock, draw the time she'll go to the library. So if you add 1 hour to 2:25, you'll add 1 to the 2, would be 3:25. So my hand, hour hands between the 3 and the 4, and then 25 would be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. 3:25. And this would be past morning. So PM. It is 3 o'clock AM. Are you more likely to be on your way home from school or sleeping in your bed? If it's AM, 3 o'clock AM, you are sleeping because that's right past midnight. Okay, and then your homework. It says the hours from midnight until noon are AM, noon to midnight are PM. So go to the park. So let's write down the time first. So shorthand first. It would be 11, and then 5, 10, 15. 11, 15. And then this gets tricky. You would not go to the park 11:15 at night because that's almost midnight. So this actually would be AM. This is right before you eat lunch. Go bowling. Okay, so my hour hand is 1, and this is 5, 10, 15. And this would be 1:15 PM, past morning. Make your bed. This is between the 7 and the 8. I go back to the 7. And 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 7:45. And that would be AM. Okay. All right. Tell the time, what time is on for the clock. Draw the hand. So this is a rooster crowing. Rooster crows right first thing in the morning, so I know it has to be AM. And if it's 6 o'clock, my short hand points at the 6, and my tall hand kisses the top. Flying a kite, 2:30, so halfway between the 2 and the 3, 30 kisses down there, and that is past morning. Going shopping, 5:15, my short hand goes to the 5, and this is 5, 10, 15, and you would go shopping at past the morning, not AM, that's when you're still sleeping. Jay and Mike went for the county fair for Mike's parents. They got there at 10 AM. They stayed for 4.5 hours. Did they go home in the AM or PM? Well, if they got there at 10, go back to 10, and they stayed for 4.5 hours. So that's 1 hour, that's 2 hours, 3 hours, that's 4 hours, and that's a half. So we passed 12, so that would be PM, past morning. Okay, complete each sentence writing AM or PM. Casey has an art lesson at 4:30, that would be past morning, PM. Sam eats dinner at 5:30, dinner is always going to be PM. Kylie eats breakfast at 6, breakfast will always be AM. Okay, so the last thing I want to do is some word problems. So pause this and take out your book. Please tear out page 605. 605. When you have that torn out, turn this back on. We're going to do some word problems. Okay, you ready? All right, so let's figure out some word problems using time. The buses leave in order every half hour. Bus 1 leaves at 9:30, bus 2 leaves at 10. What time do buses 3 and 4 leave? So look at the strategy they did. They drew lines and they're adding a half an hour each time. So 9:30, 10, so it'd be 10:30, and then bus 4 leaves at 11. That's every 30 minutes. Remember, 30 minutes is a half hour, it's half the clock. Okay. Each class at school goes to recess 30 minutes after the other. The first class goes at 1 o'clock. What time will the fourth class go? So they drew 4 lines. We know the first time is at 1 o'clock. So if it's every 30 minutes, what is 30 minutes after 1? I'll show you this. Here's 1 o'clock. What is 30 minutes later? Yeah, it's 1:30. Good. So 1:30. So now I'm at 1:30, and I'm going to add 30 minutes. So remember, it's half the clock. So 2 o'clock is the next one. And then now I'm at 2 o'clock, and we're going to add 30 more minutes. And that one is 2:30. Okay. Okay. I'm going to do a couple here. In the morning, Mrs. White's students change activities every hour. This is on page 607. Okay, so every hour now. Hour is easier. Reading starts at 8:30. Her students go 3 more activities. So they drew 3 lines. So we're adding an hour, not a half hour. So just your hour hand changes. So if you start at 8:30, there it is. And if you add an hour, then you have 9:30. Okay, so let's write that down because you're just adding to the hour hand. So this would be 9:30. If you add another hour, it would be 10:30. Another hour would be 11:30. Students start work in learning stations at 10:30. After 2 hours, they go to recess. What time do they go to recess? So if you have 10:30, you're going to add 2 to your hour. So 10, 11, 12. It would be 12:30. Your minutes stay the same, just your hour changes. In the afternoon, Mrs. White's students change activities every half hour. Math starts at 1. Writing starts after math. What time will writing start? So if you have 1 o'clock is math, and they change every half hour. What is a half hour? Here's 1 o'clock. And if you're adding a half hour, it is 1:30. So 1:30. All right, boys and girls, so please complete the back page and the homework page, and then we'll check back tomorrow. So this is time, telling time. Bye.